Hey, welcome back to Pretty Conspiracy. This is Kay, and the story of Wayde Sims of LSU may be a familiar one or may not be a familiar one. He was actually a basketball player there in 2018, September 2018. He was shot and killed during a fight outside of a Subway restaurant in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's a story that you may be familiar with because actually his death was caught on camera. So there was a few bystanders who took out their phone and filmed the fight, not expecting that there would be a shooting. I seen both videos that was recorded that night, and it's very violent. It's very tragic. And it's very sad because you can see him at the moment that he's shot and at the moment that he does pass away. I don't know if he passed away exactly at that moment, but he was definitely in transitioning of passing. And Wayde Sims was the son of Wayne Sims, who was also a basketball player for LSU, and I believe from was it 87, 88 to like 92. So he was a former LSU player, and now his son was following in his footsteps. From all accounts, what I read about Wayde Sims is that he was actually very much a good young man. He volunteered. He did different services, and he came from a family that was a two-parent home, had his father, and the to see him fighting out there in a group of guys was a little bit surprising, I think, for a lot of people, because I don't think it was in his character, or maybe it was. We don't know, right? We don't know him personally. He seemed just like he had it together. And the decisions that we make sometimes can be life or death. And I think that him as a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, he never thought that he was gonna get shot. He never probably dreamt that he was gonna get murdered, because fighting, people fight all the time, but you have to understand that people don't fight anymore. You never bring a knife to a gunfight. You never know what somebody else has on them. The young man that shot and killed Wayde Sims was a 20-year-old by the name of, I'll call him Mr. Simpson because I don't recall his first name, D. Simpson. And he intentionally shot Wayde Sims, admittedly, but he was tried and convicted of second-degree murder because it wasn't premeditated. I think from what I get of the story, Wayde Sims was trying to protect his friend. Now, Wayde Sims was 6'6", so that's a giant, right? We don't see very many 6'6" people walking around. And the guys he was fighting, you could clearly see in the video, were probably 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" at the most. They were average or below average height guys, and he was a giant among these guys. And now you could say, well, kudos for him for sticking up for his friend, but I think because there were so many of them, and maybe it was a ganging up mentality. Somebody was ganging up on someone, that he felt that he had to intervene. Because I don't think they were fighting him. Because I don't think anybody would actually try him, at 6'6" and 218 pounds. But it's commendable that he would stick up for his friend. But like I said, You don't know what the other person is carrying. And the guy that actually shot and killed Wayde Sims, he was a nerdy looking guy. And he looked like he was afraid. And so he intentionally shot Wayde Sims and actually shot him in the head. So, and it's sad because that was another young man with a lot of potential. And he could still just been playing basketball, finishing out his 4 year at LSU. But that was not to be. And it's because of the decisions that we make. And you have to think about the fact that he was 20. He was essentially a child. To me, he was a child. He was a young man. He wasn't experienced in life, and you make a lot of bad decisions and choices at that age, and some of them can be detrimental. Some of them can be very deadly. So he probably just thought they were gonna fight it out, and that was gonna be that. He was just gonna go home, and it was gonna be another night. But that night, he didn't make it home, unfortunately. Very, very sad story. You hear stories. The only reason, that story, of course, made so much headlines is because he was a LSU basketball player. But stories like that are happening across the country every day of the week to young men, and especially young so-called black men. And it's always sad to see that, because you wish you could turn back time and be like, change the course of time and what happened in the past. But it's a learning experience, and it's one that I think a lot of people learn the hard way. I learned the hard way. So that's the story of Wayde Sims. Look it up online. There's also some YouTube videos of him, and just there's interviews with him. He seemed like a well-adjusted young man who made a very, very bad decision, and it cost him his life. And I wanted to tell his story because I feel like his story is the story of a lot of young men across this country. So this is Pretty Conspiracy, and I will talk to you later in another video. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe and like and share and all that good stuff.